Welcome back to Tactics Talk with Guido. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate your support as always. I have an ace mastery in the T-10 for you today with JACKX360 from my clan Cartel. He's in his T-10 Tier 9 Russian heavy tank, and he's top tier in a 2-tier battle, 5-10. You can see that he's loaded here into Tundra, and they have spawned on the north spawn, and he's headed over to the west side. Take a look at the deployment. You'll notice that he is alone, and I'm assuming unafraid at this point. There's no artillery, which will play into this a little bit. Let's see what Jack decides to do. He comes over here, takes a look, heads back a little bit, and he's taking up a position, hold down right here. So instead of pushing into that brawling zone there with only one tank, he decides to hang back a little bit. So this is a good illustration on weak flanks. One technique to do that is to go to that flank and hang back so that you've got escape routes. So from here, he can actually turn around and dive down into that hole, go around that hill corner right there. If he has enough time, even drive up and around and back through there. Plus, he'll have some time to shoot at guys who are trying to push across this open space here, and potentially convince some of these guys hanging out back here to help him by either moving into the right position or even coming up. Both teams invested pretty heavily into the hill on the east side. There's a few people trolling around the middle. So while this isn't a fantastically good deployment for Jack's team, it will do for the moment. He does have to pay attention to the left. If guys come through that little low area they just looked over at right there, it can be an issue. Ends up missing against the 4202, and the 4202 pushes up and takes this forward position. Not a bad idea, but he does need to be careful. He is facing a Tier 9 heavy. Ends up putting a shot into Jack. Jack hammers him, and we get into a little kerfuffle here. It looks like both of them trying to get into hatches. Down goes the view slot. Looks like Jack's having a little bit of trouble getting shot on this guy. There we go. And the ST-1 is now moving forward, so that's some danger. And there's a Scorpion right there, so he backs up wisely, loses a driver. Tracks, I think, yep, tracks the ST-1, who is shooting HE. So that is always going to help. This ST-1 does not seem to have a really good idea of what he's doing or where he is. Who am I? Where am I? Where are my pants? That's what that guy's saying right now. Just sort of looking at, just shoot the HE, dude. It's HE. It doesn't matter what you hit him. Jack comes in there, looks for a track, doesn't quite get it. But the Indian Panzer does the same thing, and he does get it. That Scorpion G went down. Those TDs we talked about in the back doing their work, particularly Tortoise, and down goes the ST-1. So we've taken 3 tanks out over here for the loss of none by being a little bit careful. So that was a good job. Now we're going to flex. This is another good example of a tactic and technique you need to have in your World of Games kit bag. Once you win your flank, there's no real sense pushing through it unless you're winning everywhere, and that's where the hit points are. But the hit points were over here, and that's where Jack went. I think Jack, I would have gone after the RHM because he fired. I'd have saved the JT for later and killed that RHM, got rid of him. But you get the points off the JT, the RHM bounces, and you get the RHM. So it's hard to argue with results sometimes. Couple trees need to be destroyed, and his buddy the Indian Panzer is still kind of hanging out with him. They've become quite the little team right there. So he's going to come around here. Let's get a little shot into the front sprocket. Oh man, drive wheel is broken. Up around behind the JT. I probably would have rammed that JT, but more than likely he's going to do more damage than you do to him. That's just how I play. But you get him dead. This is interesting because you auto-aim this guy, and then when you have the shot, you save it. It looks like you're trying to do the ram kill. I'd have just shot him. Could have been another case of lag as well. Finally get him down. Here comes your Indian Panzer buddy. You two are pretty hyped, so we're going to get a little chest bump action here. Right on, bro, Cephas. Woohoo! Alright, let's move forward. Moving forward, there's a Tortoise. Shoot that guy. He's down behind that rock. You probably needed to shift left and drive up your hill just a little bit there to get that shot. There you go. Shot into the Tortoise. Somebody else kills him, but you got 300 something damage off him. And now for the coup de grace Conqueror. We're not going to get the kill here, but we are going to get another chunk of damage. 460 roll. Nice job on that. You know, because you had a lot to do with it. Nice job on the shot. And it ends up with 4,653 damage, 930 blocked, and a T-10. That's actually pretty good. Kind of a soft heavy, really. 848 assist, 4 kills, top of the leaderboard, and an ace mastery in the T-10. Without paint. Come on, Jack. Paint that thing. You gotta be kidding me. You got tier 9, you don't have paint on it. Alright, guys. A good example of several things. They're moving to a flank, but not overcommitting when you know you're weak over there. You don't always have to go to a weak flank just because, quote-unquote, somebody has to. But if you do, and you're a top tier like Jack is, don't overcommit. Sit back a little bit, see how the fight develops, and then if you see an opportunity, move through it, which he did. Got some help from the Indian Panzer, got some help from the TDs that were behind him, and then they flowed across the map into the rest of the hit points and swept up the enemy from the side while the main fight up on the hill. Obviously, his team won in every direction on this map, but it's just a good example of individual thought processes and how to move across a map. Alright, guys. Hope you like what you saw. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I know I did. And we will see you.